Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you a quick trick on how to make a fun dog portrait using a charcoal pencil and one of your favorite snapshots. And then we're going to try to do an abstract kind of modern looking portrait with the thing that we're doing right now. So first, this is a charcoal pencil, and I'm going to outline my dog. I'm going to do it really quick and simple because I don't need a lot of detail. I just need to do his outline. Kind of squeaky. And if you're left-handed, you might want to use a piece of cardboard, which I forgot to do, and start from the right and work your way backwards so you don't get charcoal all over your hand. But I always forget to do that. That's okay. The idea is that we're making a transfer. We're going to transfer this on the paper. And if you're wanting it to, if you want it to look the way it looks now, then you need to be able to flip the picture in your, if you have Photoshop or Picasa or whatever your photo editing software is, flip it over so it's, because it's going to be facing the opposite direction when you transfer it to the paper. Okay? So, we've got it outlined. Now we are going to flip it over and hold it onto our paper, and then we're going to use some kind of an something with a rounded edge and rub it on to the paper. You can use anything like that you have on hand. Just all I could find right now is the back of these scissors. I'm just using the back of the scissors here, and I'm just rubbing wherever I know I outlined. You can check and see if it started to transfer by hold the paper in place and then just lift. And you can see it has started to transfer. And we just want the outline. So it doesn't have to be super fancy. Let's see. Oh, I didn't get his ear, but I think I can manage to make that up myself. So now, can you see that we have transferred it? Okay. I'm going to make the tail. I don't know how to do the tail here. I kind of want it to be like that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is use a hot glue gun, and I'm going to use the hot glue gun. This is kind of hard because I'm working from behind the camera, but I'm going to try to carefully place a bead of hot glue kind of on the outside of where my outline was. I kind of discovered this technique by accident. I was trying to come up with an idea for how to do art along with a story for Bible school this summer. And I've been thinking about it all week, and every time I came in and out of the garage, I almost would stumble on my hot glue gun that my husband had been trying to clean out his garage. And he set the hot glue gun and the glue on the step because my boys had been using it for another project out in the garage. I think it was for a science fair project about bees or something. So I kept walking past that thing, and then the day of Bible school, the beginning of Bible school, I had an epiphany, like probably a half an hour before I was supposed to be there, about the hot glue and how I could use it to make a barrier for when I'm doing acrylic pouring, to keep the paint from oozing out everywhere. And this is, so I experimented quickly on a piece of scrap wood. This was my experiment. I don't know if you can you see that, like, I made the glue barrier and then I was able to pour paint and not let it flow all over the place. You kind of need to take your time with this hot glue, because if you squeeze it out too fast, the heat from the glue gun can't quite keep up. Hi, Annie and Gary, this is for you. I like to call this dog the captain. It's a beautiful creature. I don't know about that tail, but yes, that's what we got. Okay, so now that we've gotten him kind of outlined, you want to make sure you get a tall enough wall. It's kind of like you're building a dam, or you're making your own man-made pond for the paint to fit in. Because we don't want it to ooze up and over the top of our thing. The other thing you need to know is, if you're going to do this on paper, this is a poster board paper. I have applied a couple of layers of gesso to this. It's called white acrylic gesso, and you can get it at your local craft store. And what it does is kind of coats the paper and makes it stiffer, and will, oop, that's still wet, and will prevent the paint from soaking into the paper, because this acrylic paint technique, the flow painting, is really wet. So if I were to just pour it straight on the paper will get really soggy and hard to work with. Okay, that's just about dry. I'm gonna go grab my paint. squeeze bottles from like a restaurant supply store here in town. I think you can get them at the craft store too. But it's got a mixture. It's acrylic paint, distilled water, and there's this other additive called Floetrol, which is Floetrol. And I'll just hold this up so you can you see the, so it's 3 ounces of acrylic paint, 6 ounces of Floetrol for latex paint, 3 ounces of distilled water, and 20 drops of silicone treadmill oil. And you mix it all together, and you do your colors like with that, and then for the white you don't add any silicone oil, and that's what helps you make the cells. I don't have a lot of this left, so hopefully I have enough. So first, I think our glue is dry enough now. It's not going to ooze everywhere. First thing we're going to do is pour a blob of, I just have a very little bit of this left, of this white, but I think that should be enough. Put the cap back on, and then we're going to do a little bit of, I don't know, how about black? You gotta shake it up. You don't need very much because it goes everywhere. You just need a thin layer. So then I'm gonna do a little bit of black. I got it all over my fingers. Oh no, it's okay. Then, I don't know what color I want to do next. I'll just do some orange. We'll have a rainbow dog. Or maybe I'll do red. I'll do primary colors. Okay, you still see? And then I'm going to shake up the, oh snap. Maybe I should always put the lid on. That's a good safety measure. Just in case if you're clumsy like me and knock it over. Okay, next we got blue. Maybe I'll do a little red and blue over here. Are you excited to see what's going to happen? Now I'm going to do a little yellow. Oh, geez, this is... The thing you got to be careful with these bottles is when you take the little cap off, it kind of wants to go everywhere. So, be careful. Oh, and I want to mix a little red and yellow too over here so then I can get orange. Okay, now I need to get my little spatula. And where did I put that? Aha! I have found it. Okay. This is where the magic's going to happen. You just take this spatula. Again, you can get it at a craft store with a set of paintbrushes. And you just lightly pull it. And you mix it however you want it. But if you overmix, you might end up with some muddy stuff. Ooh, I like that. And then it's also handy to have a paper towel nearby. Okay, I'm going to try and pull this and see if I get some cool orange to develop. And see, my hot glue made a barrier for me for my paint to stay in. And if you do this on a piece of wood, I would also recommend that you put the gesso on it, and then you can peel the, if you don't like the hot glue barrier thing, you can peel it off without having the paper rip. So that's kind of cool. Okay, this I need a skinny part, so I gotta kind of go drag it like this. Also, if you have a smaller piece of paper or wood to work on, you can pick it up and swirl it around more. I'm kind of in an awkward position here because I'm working around tripods. I have 3 tripods set up. One for the camera, one and 2 different ones for my big overhead lights that are making this stay really bright. I almost need a little bit more paint, I think. Ooh. I'm like really excited about this new technique though. I think it's quite awesome. The other thing I can do too is I don't have to use the whole flat part of my spatula. I can use this point and push the paint all over however I want. I do feel like I need a little more paint though. I just wish I had more. Oh, there we go. The white without the silicone oil is necessary if you want to get the cells that are showing up. And the more you shake the bottles that do have the silicone in it, the smaller the cells will be. So if you shake it less, in theory you're supposed to have bigger cells. I wonder what happens if I do a reverse and put white over the blue. I don't know if I have enough. The other thing is you can push the paint around just with the air. Look at that. I'm pushing the paint with the air from the squeeze bottle. So you could use a straw or a hair dryer to just push this around. How about that? And then it doesn't mess it up as much. Ooh, I like that. See that? So you could make monsters, kittens, flowers,